Today I want to give you a quick overview of the banners available in this patch, which are my current recommendations on summoning for them, what is my planned course of action for this patch. I have also added a TLDR section for those of you who do not want to hear me blab and want to get straight to the facts. So you can jump right into that if you want. Also, do not forget to go over to my Twitter page and enter the giveaway for a chance to win one of 5 available monthly passes for the game of your choice. And without further ado, let us start with the light cons. For the first phase 4-star light cons, we have Moles, Perfect Timing and Birth of Self, out of which only Perfect Timing is worth going for, as it can be used by multiple sustain units. For the second phase, 4-star light cons, both of them are pretty good, especially Eyes of Prey, as it's the only hit rate 4-star light con available for Nihility units. Moving on to the 5-star light cons. Yunli's signature is very good for both her and Clara due to the increase in taunt value, and since the rest of the passive can be used by both of them. Huo Huo's Lycon is not needed, as she can use multiple 4-star options, and Sparker's Lightcon is good, but also not needed, as Bronya's Lightcon can be bought from the store and is a decent alternative to it. Now let's quickly go over the units as well, and let's start with Hanya, which is the first skill point generator of the game, but has unfortunately been phased out of the meta by the other 5-star options, since almost all the team archetypes have a better 5-star variant. Follow-up teams have Robin, break teams have the Harmony MC and one Mei, crit teams have Bronya and Sparkle, dot teams have either Robin or one Mei. The other 4-star supportive options in Pela and Tingyun are also better options for most teams, therefore unless you are a die-hard fan of her alluring model, you should not pull for this unit. Yukong has finally been taken out of the basement after eons, and I would recommend to push her back there and leave it at that. The only reason to go for her is if you are close to her E6, but even at E6 she really doesn't have a strong team available for her due to her clunky kit and because there are many more options available now. I would stick to the free copy you are given from the game for her. Lynx is a good healer who was capable of solo sustaining the team before, but she may struggle a bit now with the most recent additions to the enemy roster. Her main strength is that she is a great partner for Blade, Clara or Yunli if you have them or are planning to get them. The AoE cleanse from her ultimate is also invaluable in harder content, as most of the enemies will have some form of CC in their arsenal. But she's also a unit given for free, so you shouldn't spend that much on her Eidolons. Hook is pretty much a skip, as she has been obliterated by the other 5-star options available for fire DPS, and we'll get another one in the second phase, so yeah, just stick to loving her in the main story and save your jades. Guinaifen is the only fire dot DPS available in the game, unless you count Hook's strange gimmick, and a decent damage buffer for your team with her fire keys mechanic. The big question is if she is worth building if you are going for Jiao. Then the answer is no, as he is a better team buffer out of the box, but if you plan on skipping Jiao and just want to snipe an Eidolon for her, that is also a good choice of action. Arlan, all I can say if you want to pull him is stop it and get some help. And finally, let us move on to the 5-star units, and the first one on the chopping block is Yunli, which pretty much was right on the money, as basically Clara Pro Max. Well, maybe just plus, not really on the Pro Max level, as she is better than Clara in both MOC and Apocalyptic Shadow, but not so much in Pure Fiction though, as Clara has the advantage of her AoE skill there. But if you already have Clara build, I wouldn't say the upgrade to Yunli is worth it. You could instead simply go for Yunli's Lightcon, as that alone would lower the gap between the performance of the two. But if the small girl giant sword is your trope, you do you and be happy, although you may need to invest in some shoes if you happen to get them both. Huo Huo is still the go-to option in energy hungry teams as well as in dot teams, but she lost the spot to Aventurine on Acheron's team though. But she is still a superb sustain unit, and if you are missing one, I do recommend getting her, especially if dot is your preferred playstyle. And like I mentioned previously, she works very well with 4-star Lycan options. Jiao, keeping up with the team, looks like he is a Guinaifen Pro Max, filling the same role as a fire dot DPS with team damage buffing capabilities, and he does it better than Guinaifen. He is also in a vacuum the best stack generator for Acheron, but I do mean in a vacuum, because at an E0 Acheron level, her best team is Kafka and Black Swan, and swapping Black Swan out for him would not be that beneficially for the overall team damage, since you will lose on the defense reduction from Black Swan. But for Fire Week stages, he may be preferred. But then again, like I said, if you already have Black Swan or even E6 Guinaifen, his pull value is really low, as he either struggles to find a place in his preferred team or is not that big of an upgrade over an E6 Guinaifen. Sparkle is the best option for most hypercarry teams, so I would highly recommend getting her simply because she supports one of the major playstyles of the game, and also because she's one of the 3 broken pieces belonging to the Harmony path, and trust me, you will want all 3 of them, because while DPS units are interchangeable, these 3 will be here for the long time, as the kits they have are very hard to be power capped compared to the DPS units, as each one of them has a distinct gimmick or a vital role for each major playstyle. So as a conclusion, I would say the order of priority for characters should be Sparkle over Huo Huo, over Yunli, over Jiao. And for Lightcons, only go for Yunli's Lightcon if you want to either build her or Clara. The case can be made for Sparkle's Lightcon as well, especially if you use her with DPS units which deal damage outside of the regular turn, such as most follow-up DPS units. But the biggest winner of this patch is actually March, because her new form is bonkers. I mean, honestly, she's most likely the best 4-star available currently due to the sheer flexibility of her kit between DPS and support, especially once we will get her E6 as well. Well, I may get ahead of myself, as Gallagher is still also a thing, but you get the point. So with the analysis done, what is my planned course of action for this patch? Well, pretty simple. I will skip both phases, as I already have an E2 Clara, which I just started building. I already have Sparkle and enough sustain options, so I do not need Huo Huo. But mainly because Phase Jiao is coming in the next patch, and I desperately need another wind DPS on my account. We are also 4 patches past since Acheron's banner was live by now, so a rerun for her may also be on the horizon. But I do hope they won't be that evil and they won't put her with Fei Jiao, since I'm also aiming for her E2 as well. But if the spirits will change their messages in my dreams in the coming weeks, I may very well get a Huo Huo for good measure and Yunli's Lightcon for my Clara. But until next time, I am Professor Veritas Ratio, and I wish you all the best of luck with your summons, and remember, stay smart and sexy.